All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about something pretty ambitious today, an ancient framework that tries to classify every single piece of knowledge in the universe. It comes from the Agni Purana, and it's a really incredible way of looking at the world of information. But before we get into the answer from the text, just think about it yourself for a minute. If someone asked you to categorize all knowledge, everything there is to know, how would you even start? Would you use buckets like science, art, philosophy? I mean, where does quantum mechanics go versus, say, the recipe for a perfect chocolate cake? It's a massive, massive question. And here's the thing, this isn't just some modern thought experiment. This exact challenge is the starting point for a deep conversation in the ancient Sanskrit text, the Agni Purana. It's this profound dialogue between a legendary sage and a deity about the very nature of what it means to know something. So, who's in this conversation? Well, you've got two major figures, the great sage, Sage Vashishtha, and none other than the fire god himself, AgniDev. And Vashishtha isn't just asking out of idle curiosity, he's on a serious quest for ultimate understanding. And this is what he asks. He's not just looking for a simple answer. He's basically asking for the secret key, the one piece of knowledge that unlocks everything else. How do you become, as the text puts it, all-knowing? I mean, that's a pretty big ask, right? And AgniDev's answer is what we're here to unpack. So AgniDev doesn't just give a short definition. No, instead he lays out an entire system. He explains that all knowledge, absolutely everything, can be divided into two fundamental paths. They're called Vidyas, and this framework is meant to hold it all. And here they are. On one side, you have Apara Vidya. You can think of this as the lower or worldly knowledge. This is everything we can see, study, measure, and document about the world around us. And on the other side is Para Vidya, the higher or spiritual knowledge. This is knowledge of what lies beyond the physical world. As you can see, they have two completely different goals. So let's start with Apara Vidya, the worldly knowledge. And let me tell you, according to the Purana, its scope is absolutely massive. This is the domain of pretty much everything we call practical, intellectual, or scientific learning. The foundation for all of this worldly knowledge, as AgniDev lays it out, begins with the four great Vedas. These ancient, foundational texts are seen as the source of hymns, rituals, and philosophy. He lists them specifically, the Rig Veda, the Yajur Veda, the Sama Veda, and the Atharva Veda. For the thinkers of this time, these four texts were really the bedrock of all the knowledge that came after. But here's the thing. AgniDev explains that just knowing the Vedas isn't quite enough. You need 6 auxiliary disciplines to truly understand them properly. These are known as the Vedangas, which literally translates to the limbs of the Veda. And this is where it gets so brilliant. You can see how systematically they thought about learning. You have Shiksha. That's the science of phonetics, for getting the pronunciation just right. Kalpa, for all the ritual procedures. Vyakarana, that's grammar. Nirukta, for the origin of words, or etymology. Jyotisha, for astronomy. And finally, Chanda, for poetic meters. It's basically the complete toolkit you'd need to properly decode the primary text. But believe it or not, the list doesn't end there. Not even close. AgniDev expands the definition of worldly knowledge even further, showing that this category is really meant to include every single facet of human civilization. And just look at the sheer breadth of what's included here. You've got deep philosophy, like Mimamsa and Nyaya, which are schools of logic and reasoning. You've got social structure and law in the Dharmashastras. History and storytelling are covered by the Puranas. And then it gets into the practical sciences. Vaidvika, which is medicine. Think Ayurveda. Gandharva Veda for music and the arts. Dhanurveda for the art of warfare. And even Arthashastra for statecraft and politics. I mean, think about it. Almost every subject you'd find in a modern university falls right into this one single category of Apara Vidya. So, after laying out this vast, sprawling catalog of worldly knowledge, the conversation naturally pivots back to Vashishtha's original question. How does one become all-knowing? What's the point of all this learning? And this is the crucial distinction. AgniDev explains that Apara Vidya, with all its sciences and arts, is absolutely essential for living in and understanding the material world. But Para Vidya, the higher knowledge, has a completely different purpose. It's not about describing the world. It's about realizing what lies beyond it. This right here is AgniDev's definition of that ultimate knowledge. It's the understanding of the imperishable, the absolute reality. And just listen to the language he uses. It's the knowledge of that which is unseen, ungraspable, and eternal. This isn't about facts and figures, it's about the very nature of existence itself. And these are the actual verses from the Purana, where this distinction is made crystal clear. All those fields of study we just listed are categorized as Apara, or worldly. But the text identifies Para Vidya as the true path to ultimate realization. So one form of knowledge gives you mastery over the world, while the other offers liberation from it. That's a huge difference.
And that leaves us with a fascinating question to think about. In our modern world, with our universities, our careers, our endless stream of information, which of these two paths, Apara or Paravidya, do we tend to value and pursue the most? It's definitely something worth considering.